Welcome everyone to our webinar today. I'm Anne-Marie Molinari-Sanders, and I'm going to be your facilitator / presenter today with the team joining and helping. And I also have Paula Bauer joining me as the host, and she'll be dropping things and just dropping information into the chat pod for us. And thank you so much, Paula, for your help, and to the whole team. So let's go ahead and get started. And welcome if you are just joining us. All right, so as usual, we have a packed agenda today. And so we start out with announcements. We're going to have a few updates from the professional development centers. And then we will talk about some new training, trainings, I should say, a few conferences and statewide events. We'll touch on the monthly webinar series. There's a lot of great webinars coming up. Test training announcements, PD portal announcements, and of course the PD coordinator time. So up first, we have the updates from the professional development centers. And I think I want to welcome Joan. And Joan, your slide.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. I just have a really short update for us this month. We are teaming up with Workforce Wednesday to host a Building Employer Partnerships session on June 15th at 12:30. And the CP-PDC team will be providing y'all information on how to engage with what employers want through different strategies, such as developing sales pitch scripts and emphasizing your program meeting the needs of employers, developing strong MOUs, and connecting with employers through the training process by maintaining relationships and emphasizing effective communication. We would love to see you guys. It is a week from yesterday, so go on, register in the PD portal, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joan, for that update. It sounds like it's going to be a great webinar. All right, so next we have Michelle Vick to talk about the Distance Education Professional Development Center.
Hello, everyone. We have a couple of announcements for you today. First off, we have approved some new distance learning curricula, more than one, so curricula over the last few months. And we just wanted to make sure that your programs know about these, especially if they're at a time where they're reevaluating what distance learning curriculum they want to use with their students. And I have put the link to the list. Oh, someone else did it too. Thank you, Paula, in the chat box. And just a couple that I'll mention. The newest one that we have approved, it's a suite of different products, but it includes Rosetta Stone. So you know, that's one that most people are familiar with for language learning. And then there's another one called Learning Express that has TOEFL test prep, which is often needed. Learning Express is already freely available in libraries, public libraries across the state, but if your students use it through your programs, then they get proxy hours. So you want to look into maybe having a contract with Learning Express if you need that for TOEFL prep. It has a lot of other great curriculum in there as well. And then there is a new AEL Fundamentals course in the PD portal, Overview of Distance Learning. It's a great course, and if you have people still needing to get some last PD credits before the program year ends, then you might point them to that course. I believe it falls under the other category. Correct me if I'm wrong, any of our PD specialists. And then you can go on to the next slide.
And Michelle, the new curriculum will be on the approved curriculum list, right? So they can go and check it out,
is.
right?
Yes, and Paula put that link in the chat box for everyone.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good. For just people just joining us. There's some people that just joined. So I just wanted
Absolutely.
to clarify. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
So Paula, if you'll put that in again, because I did also see that some people just joined us. If you'll put Paula, the approved curriculum link in one more time. Thank you. So you can find the list of approved distance curriculum at that last link. So going on to our call center, in the summer, that it's often a time when our students spend more time with distance learning because a lot of programs have fewer synchronous class times that they're offering in the summer. We want our students to keep learning, so encourage your students to be on the distance learning platforms, gaining proxy hours. And then when they need help, have them call the call center when they're struggling with any tech issues related to their distance learning. If they get stuck with a link that they're struggling with, or a login, or just how to navigate the distance learning platforms, you've got the call center phone number there. And our new website, which is full of resources for educators and students, but it's also a great way to contact the call center. So students can, or instructors who need the call center, can click the call button and initiate a call. They can click the chat button, initiate a chat. There's some other ways that they can reach us through the website. So we've got the link here in the chat box. Check out our new website. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And I just wanted to let everyone know that Laura put in the chat pod that the new course that you talked about, Michelle, is under other. So thank you so much. And we also put the links in the chat pod for the phone number, the help desk, and the resources. And let me know if you have any questions as we go on. So thank you again, Michelle. All right, so we're gonna, okay, so now we're gonna go on to conferences and trainings and statewide events. And I wanna just talk a little bit about Save the Date. I'm sure everyone knows that the Fall Institute is coming up, but just to keep some dates on your radar, September 19th is going to be the Fall Institute pre-conference, and there's going to be several sessions. There's going to be a QA/PA session, a Career Pathways Professional Development Center session. We will have a PD coordinators meeting, and there's going to be an LEA or a Leadership Academy session. So that's for the pre-conference. And then September 20th through the 23rd is going to be the sessions, and they fall into 4 strands. So we're going to have TWC has asked for digital literacy sessions, board and partner alignment strategies, instructional strategies, and learning strategies. So those are the different strands that the sessions will fall under. So it's going to be wonderful. And the actual conference location is going to be at the Sheraton at the Capitol in Austin, Texas. And I like to say it's the hotel on the hill there. And so it'll be there, and registration and hotel information is coming soon. And I did want to mention one note, and that is, if you did submit a proposal, or someone on your team did, or maybe you did as a program, the deadline to submit the proposal to Lori Slayton at TWC is June 25th. So that's coming up in a couple weeks. So I just wanted to just kind of remind everybody of that too. So
actually, Anne Marie, the proposals have already been put in
Right,
and
that's right.
accepted. What's due by June 25th is, if people is the PowerPoint to Lori Slayton and Beth.
That's what I mean. Thank you so
Okay.
much. That's what I meant, Krista. So
Okay.
let me back up. I apologize for that confusion. If you submitted a proposal and your proposal was accepted, your PowerPoint presentation is due to Lori Slayton on June 25th. So that's the reminder. And there was a reminder that went out earlier this week about that. So thank you, Krista, so much for that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. And we have Paula.
Okay, thank you very much, Anne-Marie. We've got some literacy symposiums still going on in June. Laredo just completed a very successful symposium with about, I think it was, Eduardo, 80 participants, you said? And that was on June 2nd, first time they've ever had one in Laredo. So kudos to Eduardo. He did very good job.
We had 150.
150. Oh, my word. I have to, didn't I? June 11th, which is this Saturday, is the Gulf Coast Literacy Symposium. That'll be located downtown Houston at the United Way venue. And then we have a virtual training session coming up for the symposium called Adult Literacy in a Changing World, Effective Programs for Today. That's virtual and anybody can come to that if you need PD credit or if you're just interested in hearing a great session. All of this can be registered through the link. I just put that in the chat pod, but it's the Literacy Texas calendar. And then we have the 2022 Literacy Texas Conference. That'll be August 1st and 2nd. It's only going to be 2 days this year, but it'll be in our backyard at College Station. I also noticed that in 2023, similar dates will also be in College Station. So Literacy Texas will be here right where we are. So we'd love to come host you guys. So come on.
Paula, thank you so much. There's always great information at the Literacy Symposium. So thank you. And I think we're going to go on now to another upcoming conference that's coming up. So again, this is a save the date, and this is going to be the 2022 Pro Literacy Conference on Adult Education. And there's a pre-conference on October 2nd. And then the conference runs from the actual conference sessions run from October 3rd through the 5th. And it isn't going to be in the beautiful San Antonio, Texas. So this is a wonderful opportunity to attend the Pro Literacy Conference here in Texas. So I know Paula's going to be dropping 2 links into the chat pod if she hasn't already, and she has. And oh, and there's a question, Carly, I see. So we'll go back to that in a minute. But the registration is open for the Pro Literacy Conference, and hotel reservations are available. And so let me go back to the slide about the Literacy Texas Conference. And well, Paula answered it. So Paula, do you want to just
well, I
touch on
checked
that
in with
question?
Steve yesterday, and they're having a little difficulty with some of the proposals, but he hasn't opened registration yet. So I will try to send it out on my listserv. If y'all can think of another way we can send it out. I told them to keep their website updated so that we could register for the conference. I think Wayne mentioned yesterday there's even a deadline, but it hadn't even opened yet. So I apologize for that.
Mm-hmm. And there is the hotel block is open though, correct? For
I have not
Literacy
tried
Texas.
that. Has anybody tried that?
I believe it is open.
Okay,
But
I got it
we
in
can
the.
check on that. Mhm. Okay, and Carly says thank you. So we'll go ahead and we'll move on here. And so one of the things that we did want to share with you all is that in May this year, just recently, Links announced 4 new self-paced courses that are available, and they're brand new. And so there's 4 of them here, and I do see there's a typo with a number, but let's go ahead and let's look at these. The first one, and I'm just going to briefly kind of give you an overview, and then Paula or I will put a link in the chat pod that will take you right to a links page where you can find out more information about the courses. And these are self-paced courses, asynchronous, so they're done at your own pace. And the first one is Teaching Adult English Learners Principles and Practices, and that's going to be 3.5 hours. And it's going to be talking about the best instructional strategies and classroom management strategies for teaching our English language learners. And then the next course is a series of courses. So we have the Adult Career Pathways Course 1, which is building strategic partnerships, engaging employees, and that's 3 hours. And this is focused on multiple audiences and developing stakeholder and employee relationships. So it could be for multiple audiences. It could be for program managers, career navigators, and it could also be for adult English, adult education, or English ESL teachers or English language learner teachers. And then following on that is course number 2, which is building a bridge to adult career pathways. And that's going to be thinking about, again, how to build those building that bridge between curriculum in the classroom, as well as aligning curriculum for employment outcomes. And then finally, course number 3 is instructional considerations for adult career pathways. So this has got an instructor focus, and this is going to be helping develop curricula for adult career pathways. And so we wanted to share those with you. So these ACP classes can be taken one, or they can be taken all together. And again, I know that Paula will put the link for that in there. One final thing about links, many of you probably know this, but you do have to create an account in the Links Learning Portal. They will provide a PD certificate, but if your instructors do take those classes, remember to send there's an Excel spreadsheet that lists out the trainings that you need to be put in Teams, and send that to your PD coordinator, and they will put these events into Teams. And Krista, jump in here if you want to say anything about that. But Train PD.
Just making sure you saw the question that Lorraine just asked about those links course. She wants to know, which category do these courses count towards?
Lorraine, we will, Train PD will look at those. We're not sure yet. It could be, depending on the content, possibly number 1 could be PAL. And then the others, we'd have to look at it. Yes, I'm sorry, lit. Yes, probably lit. I mean, the first one would be lit, but again, you can have them go through these and then submit the courses to your PD coordinator, and then we'll look at how we assign them. So let's see. Did that answer the question, Lorraine? Sort of. Sort of. Okay, good. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information on that slide, and I know we want to move on. So let's stop here for a minute and see if there's questions. And while we're pausing for questions, Krista did provide some clarification. Thank you, Krista. It looks like number 1 would be lit, and 2 and 3 probably other. That's what I was thinking. And then number 4 would probably be lit again, because it's instructor focus. So thank you, Krista. So let me just pause a little bit more and see if there's questions. I know we have a lot of information today. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to move on. And then if there's questions, we'll go ahead and we'll stop. So we're going to move into our monthly webinar series now. And we are going to start with Wendy. Wendy.
Hello, everybody. Okay, so the next Manager Monday is going to be on the 20th of June at noon. It's an hour, and the topic's going to be Adjust Your Thinking. Dr. Rick Alvarado is going to be back to talk about ways to kind of open up your perspective so that you can kind of go through a little bit of a growth and attitude adjustment so that you can grow in both your personal and professional life. Next slide. And then after this month, both in July and August, so July 18th, we have Ann Savino and Elena Madrid from TWC. They're going to talk about the new and updated career pathways implementation tools. These are the plans that programs submit through SurveyMonkey, and they have been updated, and the process has been updated a little bit. So Ann and Elena are going to talk about that. And then in August on the 15th, Dr. Alvarado is returning for dealing with the tough stuff. And that is mostly geared toward handling those tough conversations that we encounter in the workplace. So that's going to be another good topic for anybody that works. I could tell you that, because we all encounter difficult conversations. And the next slide.
Thank you. Okay, here you go.
Next one. Oh, Paula, you are so good. I was going to put those dates in. Thank you so much. These are the dates for the remainder of this calendar year. So go ahead and put them on your calendar, and remember that as time goes on, it'll be in the PD portal, and recommend them to your staff that you feel would benefit from these sessions. And that is all I have, Anne Marie. So back to you.
Thank you so much, Wendy. All right, so now we have Krista to talk about Teacher Tuesday.
Hello. As you can see, we don't have the topic yet for Teacher Tuesday. It will be July 12th at 12 o'clock. I will send out lots of publicity as soon as we get that topic. It will probably be somebody from TWC this time. So just keep watching for our announcements on what the next session will be.
Awesome. Thank you, Krista. All right, and we have now Dr. Olga Escalmia to talk about Workforce Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Anne Marie. So we have a couple of sessions for June, or a session in June and a session in July. I won't spend too much time on the June one since Joan covered that at the beginning of the session, but it is a session provided by the CPPDC staff or CPPDC team, building employer partnerships to ensure employment outcomes. So join us. That's next week, Wednesday. I'm excited to have the team be presenting and sharing information. And then we also have July 20th, Victoria Hinojosa presenting Career Exploration Part 3. And she is part of the Gulf Coast College Navigators team. And they're back with part 3 of their 4-part series, How Do I Get There? So in this session, presenters are going to demonstrate how to guide students to define a career path and utilize workforce solution resources to assist with those career exploration, job search, and develop an action plan. So join us for Workforce Wednesday. And registration is in the PD portal.
Thank you, Olga. And I think hold on here.
Dates are coming up. So our dates, and Paula has placed those in the chat. Thank you so much, Paula. We have our dates, June, July, then we have listed there. So make a note, mark your calendar, and make plans to attend. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Olga. Thank you. All right, so now my turn here with the Tech and Tell webinar. The June webinar is going to be tomorrow, and it's going to be a 90-minute webinar, and our presenter is Ryan Lett. I'm so excited to have Ryan Lett back. And she's going to be talking about a tool that is fun to say, but it is hard to say. And it's called Kialo. And Kialo, the best way to describe this is an interactive visual platform that helps students organize and share their ideas and put their critical thinking skills to use. And so it's very good for classroom discussions, respectful debates, and outlining writing assignments, and probably much more that we haven't thought about. but Ryan's going to walk us through it. And so that's tomorrow from 11:30 to 1. And we're really looking forward to this. It's a tool that I've wanted to feature on Tech and Tell for quite a while. So we're very excited. And so then we're going to come back in July. Oops. We're going to come back in July, and Ryan is going to be back again for a 90-minute webinar on July 1. And she is going to introduce another tool called procon.org. And many of you may know or know about Procon, but Procon has multiple different content in a variety of topics for discussions and writing assignments. So what we're going to do, or what Ryan's going to do, is she's going to talk about how you use possibly the topics from Procon and use it with Kilo. So it's how you use both of them together. So teachers are going to learn how to use Kilo, and then they can come back and learn about procon.org. So we hope you'll join us in June and July. And then I do have many dates locked in and through to September. So coming up in August is August 12th, the 19th, and then September. And I should have October, November, and December on the books soon. So I know Paula will grab those dates and put them in the chat pod. All right. And then, as always, we appreciate you all. So reach out to us with ideas that you have for any of the webinar series, and let us know, what great things are happening in your programs. And here's our contact information, which I know Paula or I will get this in the chat pod for you. Okay. And let's stop and see if there's any questions. Let's see if I've missed anything. Just pause here for a minute. Okay. All right, go ahead and drop those questions in. And Paula, I haven't missed anything, have I? I'm scanning.
No, everybody's kind of silent now, but
Okay. All right, so we'll keep going. And now we have, I want to make sure I didn't skip a slide, Krista. Okay. And here's Krista to talk about upcoming TOTs.
Okay, hang on one second. There we go. I'm filling in for Tracy, so if it sounds like I'm reading, I am, because I want to make sure I give you all the information Tracy needs you to have. So this upcoming TOT is for CASAS. They've offered a lot of TOTs this spring, and this is the last one, June 21st and 23rd. This event is currently at capacity, but a few seats may open up. If you wish staff to attend, please register them for the waiting list and we will contact you. Keep in mind that participants must attend the entire multiple day TOT event to receive the credential.
All right, sorry, Krista, next slide or?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, yep, I jumped the gun there for a minute. Okay, there you go.
All right. And tier 1 test training, we announced this last month, but we want to make sure we repeat it again. In July, starting July 1st, your local programs will be responsible for tier 1 test trainings. We will continue to provide train the trainer events so that you can build your local capacity. But after July 1st, TCAL will not be paying for any test training sessions. Now, we will help with finding your trainer and such like that. So we will help and assist, but we won't be paying for it like we have been. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Krista. So, okay, let's see. I'm going to keep going, Paula.
yes,
if you can
no
let
questions.
me know if there's
Yes.
any questions. Okay, great. All right, so now we have Katie to talk about new courses in PD Portal.
Howdy, everyone. We have 5 new courses that have been published in the PD portal over the last couple of weeks. We have Manager Monday, Types of Listening, Workforce Wednesday, Ring Smartphones for Workforce Integration, Manager Monday, Rebranding Your IET, a Teacher Tuesday, Enhancing Your Teaching Using Adult Ed Med Videos, and AEL Fundamentals, the Adult Learner. All right. So we've actually had this slide available in the past, but I just wanted to just kind of go over it as a reminder. Just remember that you and your staff, as you complete the professional development at the end of the year, if you have questions, we can help you. We have the answers already actually ready for you. If you go and hover on top of help in the PD portal and then select help resources, you will come to a very handy page that not only links all of our other help resources, PDFs, videos, etc., but it also has a couple of our main help videos on that page. So it is available if y'all are working on professional development, or if your staff is working on professional development over the weekend or during off hours. Also, anyone's welcome to email us at pdportal@tamu.edu. Just remember that the PD portal team will respond to emails and calls during our normal business hours of Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. And it can take up to 1 business day for us to get back to you. So we just appreciate everyone's patience.
Thank you, Katie.
Mhm.
So, all right. So I'm thinking next slide is yes, ma'am. There you
One
go.
more. I think I have one more and then I'm gonna break. Okay, so again, I know that we have focused on this in the past. As the end of the year is approaching, several of you on here, if not the majority of you, are considered a manager or approver in the PD portal, which are specific to the PD portal, those terms. Being in this role allows you to run reports such as your transcript reports, view transcripts, certificates of completion, communicate with others in the AEL field, and assign training. So please do not forget about this resource. You can actually take your device and scan the QR code that's on the screen, or I can place, well, never mind, it's already there. Y'all are too fast. So yeah, Paul already placed the link in the chat pod, so it's there as well. Remember, this has help videos, and it also has PDFs that can walk you step by step on how to do things in the PD portal that's very specific to your supervisory role.
Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you so much for all of this great information. And the Wakelet is so very helpful. So a shout out to the Wakelet for sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
we got a question
Okay.
from Nelda. When one person is taken out of the PD portal, we can't get information or certificates for them, correct?
Yeah, so when they're deactivated, you as the manager approver, you can no longer see their information. So it's not difficult. You just email us and we can hook you up so that you can get the information that you need, and then we'll deactivate it again, if that makes sense. But yes, they are no longer part of your team. There was another question above that.
Yes. Thank you, Lorraine. I'm sorry, I missed your question. Will the portal automatically send an email if someone is assigned training?
Yes, they will be. And at the bottom of the email, it'll say something like so-and-so has assigned this training. And then typically if they email us, because whenever if they click reply, it'll come back to the PD portal. And if they ask a question that's specific to the supervisor, we will see the name of who assigned it and send it to you or copy you on the email.
Okay, and then Lorraine just follows up as I was assigned to training yesterday and did not receive an email, but luckily I was logged onto the training earlier in the day and saw the assignment on my transcript.
Hey, Katie, this is Laura. I'm going to jump in because I saw that question a second ago. Lorraine, will you email us at PD portal and let us know what the name of that course was so we can look into it? The email triggers don't always work like they're supposed to. And so little instances like this are a good opportunity to kind of dig and tweak settings.
Hey, and Laura, while you're there, Tiffany said, can we see it on the report if someone is removed? If they're removed, can we see that on the report? I don't remember.
I would have to look at that. I'm thinking no, that the
That's
report
what I
probably
think.
filters and pulls
Mhm.
active participants. Because otherwise we
Right.
could open it up to where it pulls participants who are no longer active, but that opens it up to everyone in the entire history of the PD portal for your program that is active or inactive, if that makes sense.
No, though, you're correct. Anyone who's been deactivated, you're not going to be able to see the name. Okay, yeah, that makes sense on the report too.
And the report be pulled by year.
Yes.
Yes, they can be. You know what? Let me write this down because Katie,
I think we have it set up that way.
yes. So it's currently set up to pull by the year, but I think we might be able to filter it down to where it will pull. It can also pull inactive people and their information, their course history. If we filter it by when they were deactivated. Let me write that down. We'll play with it, Tiffany, and see what we can do.
I hope that answered everyone's question.
Yep. And I'm wondering, Katie, if what we want to do, just wait here for yep, like 10 seconds or so. I'm not sure Debbie J is with us today. Debbie, I'm channeling you, Yanisek from Victoria College, if she's on, and let's just wait and see and pause for a minute and see if there's any other questions, because this is, I know there's always a lot of questions before we move on. So why don't we do this? And I'm going to have Paula help me. If we're ready to go, just give me a thumbs up here, everybody, or let me know in the chat pod, and then we can move on. Because sometimes I know we go rocket speed through here sometimes.
You got a few hands up, thumbs up.
Okay.
And just so everyone knows, we unless you email us to deactivate someone, we are not planning on deactivating anyone until the next audit, which will be August, September-ish. So unless you email us and ask us to deactivate, we're not going to touch it for a few months, so y'all can get your stuff together with the end of the year.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. We'll watch. If you think it's something, we can always double back. Katie, thank you so much. And we're gonna keep going here. All right. So now we have Laura to also talk about the PD portal.
Everybody, so I have a couple of slides that are just going to cover some end of the year, beginning of the year reminders. So the first one is about 3 courses in the portal, Understanding Principles of Adult Learning, and that's for the 21-22 program year. And then there are 2 multi-level courses. There's a pre-work and a post-work reflection course. So as of June 17th, which is next Friday, these will no longer be available for request or assignment. And then as of June 24th, the final test is due from participants in the field. So I jumped ahead of myself a little bit. So those 3 courses, they're going to have the availability taken off of them next Friday because they have a test that has a hand graded component. We have people in our office who part of their responsibility, among many other things, is to grade these tests that folks submit because they've got open-ended questions on them, and we can't have the computer grade those, unfortunately. So because of that, we take the availability off early, and then to allow time for our staff to review and grade those tests, we ask that they all be turned in by June 24th. Slide. Okay, and so then kind of along that same vein, moving forward into the end/beginning of the program year, on July 1st, the courses that you see listed on the screen are going to be deactivated. These are what we kind of in-house call our annual courses. They're ones that programs often ask some of their staff members to take from one year to the next. So for the ease of requesting and completing those courses, generating the certificates of completion, we just take down the old version and we create a new version. So As of July 1st, PII, goal-driven learning, the goal-driven learning attunement, and understanding principles of adult learning for the 21-22 year will be deactivated. They will be gone. They will no longer exist in the portal, and we will publish 22-23 program year versions of those courses. And then along the bottom of the slide, you'll notice it says understanding adult learners will be deactivated, but not replaced. So this course has historically served as a prerequisite for understanding principles of adult learning. And so between taking understanding adult learners and understanding principles of adult learning, participants have gotten 4 hours of PD credit. We did an in-house audit of the content in those two courses, and it was determined that understanding adult learners, there's enough content, I think, that overlaps between the two courses that it doesn't really, it's kind of doesn't make sense to have understanding adult learners as a prereq. So it's being taken out. The content that was covered in that course is now available in, oh, I just drew a blank. It's the AEL Fundamentals. Oh, thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
AEL Fundamentals, the adult learner, covers the content from understanding adult learners. And then just kind of like a little teaser for things to come, understanding principles of adult learning will only be available in the portal for a couple of months in the next program year, because we are in the background over here working. We have some staff members who are working really hard to get that content updated, and then we're going to get it out to an instructional designer so that that content comes out fresh and new and looking really, really good. As we get closer to that, we'll let you guys know. We're not just going to like pull the rug out from under you with that course or anything, but just kind of a heads up with that course.
Thank you so much, Laura. And I'm thinking, do we have, yes, here you
I have
go.
one more.
There you
Yep.
go.
So continuing to move forward into the transition from one program year to the next, we do ask that you guys this year, especially if you can give us a couple of days at the beginning of the program year before you start assigning stuff to your staff or requesting that they go find it and get it started. Some of y'all are like super on top of it. I remember a couple of years ago, I had someone from a program who July 1st, she was emailing me at like 8:03 a.m. Hey, can I assign this course to this person? But I can't find it. And it was like, give us a second, you know, like let us get in the door and turn our computers on before you start assigning stuff. So just give us a couple days. If you can wait this year until July 5th or later to start assigning stuff to your staff members, that just gives us the opportunity to do just a little bit of house cleaning in the background, the back end of the PD portal, make sure that everything is functioning and available and working like it's supposed to. And then after that, you should be good to go. And then the second bullet just says a beginning of the year best practice suggestion is to use the global search or the available online curricular report to double check the PD portal and make sure that the courses you're recommending to your staff, that they're actually available. Because again, as things, as courses break and content becomes outdated and needs to be updated and refreshed, things like that. Sometimes courses get taken out and or they get an updated title, things like that. So just use that search feature or that report that's available to you to double check and make sure that the courses are available. And Paula has shared links in the portal, in the chat pod for how to get to the PDF and again, the Wakelet, which has information about reports. Okay, I think that's all. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you. And go ahead and again, go ahead and put your questions in there and we can always go back if you think of something. All right, so let's move on. And now we have Katie back.
Well, you can actually go ahead and just skip this one and keep on moving.
Okay.
I think I forgot to skip this one. Sorry.
All right. Okay. So here we go. So Laura, this is good stuff, Laura.
Back again. So this is just the friendly kind of routine periodic reminder to keep your Zoom app updated. The most recent update was on May 30th, so just a short while ago, and I believe that was a big one. I think that there are certain features at this point, especially that if participants do not have an updated version of Zoom, they're not going to have access to some of those features as a participant. So it's not even about hosting a meeting and having access to these features, but it's about being able to participate if your host utilizes some of these features. So super important, keep it updated. On the screen, you see how to check for updates. And then Paula has shared a couple of links in the chat pod for the Zoom release notes. So that tells you everything that's kind of being updated and tweaked on the back end of things, and then a video for how to update Zoom.
Yes, thank you so much, Laura. I think that almost every week it seems like there's a little bit of some type of a little bit of an update. So
they do. They push updates out very, very frequently. And I think a lot of them are just little bug fixes, but periodically there are big ones that really we need to take note of.
Yeah. And I know for a lot of us on staff, and this is something you may want to just recommend to your staff at your program, is to choose a day and make it Zoom update check day to see, about the updates. I know I have it actually on my calendar to remind myself to go and look for the update. So thank you so much for that, Laura. Thank you very much for that reminder. All right, we're going to keep moving, and let's see here. Teams announcements. I know that we have Krista again is going to be sharing for Tracy. So Krista.
Okay, and this again is just a repeat of things that we've discussed in the past, but please make sure that you are not entering anything into Teams that is not a local session. So if it's Taylor Literacy Texas, any of those things we put in. If your staff members have attended COABE or other national conferences or did webinars, let's say on the GED testing service or on links, that kind of thing, please make sure that you get the spreadsheet from your PD specialist, and then they will send it to Tracy or Beth, and we will let you know when these sessions are put into Teams and you can associate your staff with it. But please do not put it in yourself. If you have any question, please reach out to your PD specialist and they will tell you whether you can put it in or whether we need to put it in. So it's very, very important. The CPPDC, the DLTI, all of those things are things that we put in. And so you should never have to put any of those kinds of sessions in yourself. You should be able to go in and find them and associate your staff with them.
Thank you, Krista. And also, Krista and I were talking this morning, when you do send the spreadsheet to your PD specialist that you work with at Train PD, it's very important to put the description on the spreadsheet. So take time to put that description in there because that helps Beth and Tracy put the correct information into Teams. And so I wanted to just add that. So thank you, Krista, very much.
All right. And Nelda has a question about how can we find out where the training is coming from, whether it's TCAL, TWC, state, and national. That's a really good question. Most things that are, the conferences like Literacy Texas, Taylor are going to be state. COABE, GED testing service, links are going to be national. TWC is going to be very specific things that TWC has either sponsored or put and created that has PD credit available with it. And then most everything else is going to be TCAL. And then also obviously your local program. So if you don't see it in one, as you're doing a search, use state and see if if your session is under state. So kind of do the search to see if you can find it. If you can't, again, please reach out to your PD specialist. That's what we're here for. Yes, Wayne, thank you. Exactly. Because we can get in there and see things a little bit at a higher level than you guys can. So please ask us. We will help you.
Thank you so much, Krista. And I'm just checking to see if there's other questions. Nelda said thank you. Let me see here. All right, so let's keep going. And then, because I know we're going to have time for questions at the end as well. So let's see here. Okay, so guess what? question slide again. So let's just pause again and see. I do know that we had some people that came in a little bit later. So we may.
Marie, you just got a question for
Mhm.
Mario.
Okay. Yes.
Just for clarification, will we need to send in a request to load all national trainings from now on, like COABE National?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the way it's always been, Mauro. It's not just from now on, it's always been that way. So so definitely keep sending in those spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm. And it's Krista, as we're thinking about this, since it's toward the end of the year, if any of the staff attended the COABE virtual conference that took place yesterday on digital literacy and equity and learning differences, you may want to send in those sessions, right, Krista, to your PD specialist, because that happened just yesterday.
Yeah.
Don't put those in Teams. Send them to your PD specialist.
Okay. And
yes,
go ahead and go on right to the be prepared slide, because it just goes right along with that. About having your staff have all their PD. The end of the program year is 3 weeks away. So again, if you have anything that's sitting there that needs to go into Teams, get it in as soon as possible. But also if you still have staff members struggling to find training, at this point, it's going to have to be online. Again, check with your PD specialist if you need some assistance on finding appropriate courses and or running reports for you to see where you are at.
Okay. Thank you, Krista. And let's move through here. So this is Krista's slide, PD coordinator time.
All right. I have just put in the chat pod and the PD program request form, and I am going to steal the screen for a minute. All right. So this program, no, that's not what I want to do. Come on. Let me share my screen. Yes. Okay. All right. So hopefully everybody can see the PD session request form. This is what we request all PD coordinators to send to their PD specialists as you are creating, doing requests. This has been updated. So if you have been having to put your own name in, like I know Carly Woods, Carly, you are in here now, and a few others. So please make sure that you check this and see if your name is there. And if it's not, please let me know. So this has been updated with PD specialist, PD specialist names and also PD coordinator names. And if you're not sure what to do with this form, please talk to your PD specialist. The other thing is, and it just went out of my head. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Oh, I know what I was gonna say is if you can't get it from the chat, then your PD specialist will be sending it out to you as soon as I send it to them. So they don't even have this yet, but they will very shortly after this meeting. So it's here for you to grab, and it will be sent to you by your PD specialist. And yes, Tiffany, I will get it in the COP as well.
Right. Thank you so much, Krista. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the screen back. Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. We're ready to go back. So let's move forward. We're also, Krista, go ahead.
Okay. So we've got our next dates set up for the PD coordinator webinars. Please make sure you register and launch through your transcript. Check your calendars. Make sure that you can see these on your PD portal calendar. If for some reason you can't reach out to me because something needs to be tweaked, and because everybody should be able to see these at this point. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right. Thank you. And let's move forward. And so as we round out here, I'm not sure if Ashley is on. I don't think so. So I just want to speak for Ashley and Michelle and say, like us on Facebook. There's Michelle and Ashley are doing an incredible job with our social media presence. And so please like us on Facebook, and also, follow on Twitter, follow on LinkedIn, I believe. I'm not sure about LinkedIn, but Twitter, and definitely Facebook. So I just wanted to remind everybody that there is our Facebook page. So, and thank you for all the hard work there that Ashley and Michelle have done. And then now we have a few minutes, and I like to call this the stop and pause here, and see if we've missed anything or if we need to clarify anything. Please go ahead and do that and ask questions. And you can unmute if you'd like, or put your question in the chat pod. We love to hear voices.
Tiffany,
Mhm.
did you get your question answered, Tiffany? Will it be located in the community of practice?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more questions that I can see, Anne Marie.
All right, so let's just pause for a minute. Are there any announcements that we want to review for anybody that came in later? Obviously, this PowerPoint will be posted in the community of practice. If you want to review anything, I want to see if any of the other team members would like to share anything before we roll out here. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right, Tiffany. Thank you so much, Tiffany. We think you all are pretty wonderful too. So thank you so much. And thank you again for all of you that joined us today. We had a big group, and we appreciate all of the questions, and just all the questions, and always the interaction. We appreciate it. And again, just as a reminder, if you need the training request form that Krista shared in the chat pod, go ahead and email your PD specialist, and we'll send that to you when she sends it to us, right, Krista? And I think that's all. So, all right. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and we'll say have a wonderful afternoon. I'm gonna turn my video on and say goodbye. Maybe Paula does too. And thank you everybody for joining us.